Hello everybody, we are over here in the European server on Swamp North to watch our merchant in his T21 make his initial entry into the Hall of Fame, and he moves just barely into first place on the T21 list. Swamp, with its changes, is an interesting map for scouts because no matter which spawn you're at, you get to pretty much go wherever you want. There's a lot of concealment available, there's a lot of cover available. You just have to be aware that you're rarely protected from every possible angle. It's you're safe from one direction but exposed to another, so you have to choose where you go and where you stop and set up at wisely. But it's a fun map to play for scouts. There's 1 artillery on the enemy team and 2 on his. 4 scouts on the enemy team, 3 on his. His team has no mediums, mostly heavies with 2 TDs, and the enemy team has 1 TV and then pretty much split between heavies and mediums, so they have a lot more mobility, whereas his team has the heavier armor and better firepower. He's going to move to the east across the top of the map, find a little bush to stop in and see what he can see. His team's mostly going to the south. He doesn't have a lot of support behind him, so he's moving over toward the middle a little bit. I think he might have been considering going after the MT25. You really don't want to go out in the middle this early in the fight because you're almost certain to take fire from some direction if you do that. Now he's locking on the Cromwell B. And again, he just doesn't have the support to go in there and chase him down, certainly not against a Cheery and a Cromwell B at the same time. So he has to be content to stay in the back and snipe at him a bit, wear down their hit points. And switch over to the Cromwell B and take him out. Always good to eliminate a gun, especially from a mobile tank. E25s move up in front of him. There's 2 tanks back there, at least. Cheery hasn't learned his lesson yet. If he comes out around that corner, he's getting shot, but for some reason he wants to keep trying it. Hey, maybe it won't happen if I do it this time. Oh, man, yes it will. Okay, it won't happen if I do it this time. Oh, yes it will. Somehow they just never learn. E25 is going to kick his butt. Now there's a T21 and the 152. He's banking on the fact the 152 is pointed the other way. So he's going to swoop in behind him and take him out. This is no contest here. T21 was just now too late, decided to go for him, and he dies right away. They have command of the fight. 5 tank lead. No excuse to win it now or to lose it now. There's the artillery. May have been what he was searching for. He knew he was over here somewhere. But he was kind enough to sit right out in the open where it's no challenge to find him. Five tanks to go. Not sure he was expecting him to be there, but he should win this contest because his rate of fire is much higher. And there it goes. Down to just the last two heavies. They'll be over here on the edge of the map. He's switched to APCR for the thicker armor he has to fire against. So he's waiting on his help to get there and engage the guy. And then hopefully he'll be able to shoot at somebody who's distracted by other tanks. There we go. Now he's going to aim in, place his shots on the lower glacis so he'll pin the guy, get some damage. Maybe the kill coming up. There it is. Just the KV-3 to go. It doesn't matter what tank you're driving, what scout you're driving, when you have the luxury of time to aim in fully, place your shot. Pick the weakest spot you can shoot at and fire there. Maximize your chance to get pens and get damage. Sometimes you don't have that luxury. You're going into a shootout and whoever presses the trigger first hopefully wins. But when you can sit there and just be meticulous with shot placement and take advantage of it. Where'd they go? They blew up. It's the end of the game. He ends up 2,629 damage and 5 kills on 30 of 35 shooting. That's 86%. He got 2 spots and 1,058 spotting damage and earned 24,403 credits. His XP for the match was 2,133. He survived the battle, got a high caliber fighter and fire for effect mini medals, so he ends up with a battle score of 2,173, and I think that moves him into first place by about 20 points. So a very strong initial entry into the Hall of Fame on a map that doesn't have a history of getting into Hall of Fame very often. Although with the changes now, it may get to be in it a little bit more often, because the changes, this is one of the few times they've changed the map and actually made it better for scouts. Doesn't happen very often over the last couple years. He moved up across the top of the map to the east, didn't have a lot of support with him, so he chose to play somewhat cautiously and just sit back, spot from distance and snipe. If he would have barged in like some people might have, he would have got caught without any support close to him and he would have died early on. You have to be aware of what your team's doing and play accordingly, which is exactly what he did. When he was sniping the Chi-Ryu, who kept peeking back out so he could snipe again, took one shot off to kill the Cromwell, came back and killed the 152 when he realized he could come in behind him. Fortunately, the T21 just ignored him until right at the end, and by the time the T21 decided to shoot at him, the T21 died. And then it was just a matter of going around. He went down the side of the map to find the artillery, who was nice enough to sit in the open and make it an easy kill. And then you saw at the very end when he went in on the, what was it, the IS? He knew the guy was aiming in at him, so he waited for his help to get there. And as soon as the IS was forced to turn away from him and pay attention to the other guys, then he pulled out and took very well-placed shots at the lower glacis and scored consistent damage and wiped the guy out. Textbook type play. Play within the ability of your tank. Play within the context of what your team is doing. And don't pull out in front of heavies when if you just wait 15 seconds for your team to get there and help, you'll be able to shoot without getting shot back at. It's how to stay alive. It's how to build up big damage totals. It's how to get in the Hall of Fame. And it's how to win. From Swamp, R Merchant and his T21. Happy hunting.